Hey, it's Chip. Hey, in this episode, I got to go to Mike and Marie Miller's house to record it because they have a nice studio there, and it was very casual, and the dogs were hanging out with us. Mike and Marie, I met them, I'd say, within the past 10 years. Their acoustic duo obviously was playing a lot of the same places that my acoustic duo, Rankin and Shell, was playing, and we liked each other's music, and the selections were very similar, so we've gotten to see them. They've come to see us a few times, and we've just got to be friends. And obviously I realized in getting to know them that they both have a long history of playing music in town, so I really wanted to talk to both of them individually, but as a couple too, because they've done so much over the years. So you're going to hear a little bit about, you're going to hear a lot about all of that. So this is episode 26 featuring Mike and Marie Miller. Enjoy. All right, Mike and Marie Miller, welcome to the Erie Music History Podcast, recorded right here in your very own home.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Coming here, and thanks a bunch for inviting us to be on the podcast. We're honored.
Yeah,
we are.
I love it, and I love having two dogs here. Sweet Pea's looking right at me.
Yep.
I'll get to you later.
They want to be involved, you know.
That's right. That's fine. That's fine.
Studio audience.
Molly's just going to take a nap. But...
I see that. Yeah, this is our first studio audience. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So you two are the second musical couple I've had on the podcast. Julie and Chris Moore were the first. You guys have been married 26 years, right?
27 in July.
27 in July?
Yeah.
But you've known each other a lot longer, and so I want to cover both of your individual musical careers, but together you have been playing 30 years? How long?
36. Yeah, about 36 years we've been playing together.
Okay.
Together, yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
And you first saw each other, met each other?
Junior high.
Junior high.
8th grade.
8th grade. Where at?
Wilson Junior High.
All right.
Over on East 28th Street.
All right. And so you didn't get married till later, so Mike, you blew it. So
well, I was really shy, and my downfall was that I wouldn't go talk to her.
Okay.
I was crew cut pocket protector kind of dude.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, they're not flattering. Horn rim glasses.
Yes.
And my friends are going, well, you got to go talk to her. And I said, I can't do that. She won't talk to me. And so it was 8th grade, and I was head over heels on her in 8th grade, But, I let that go by. Otherwise, we could have been married by 9th grade, But no, I screwed up.
No, I don't think that would have happened either, though.
And I've seen some pictures of you, Marie. You had like the long, straight,
yeah,
Marsha Brady hair back then, pre-Marsha Brady.
Yep.
That was one of those things that made me go, whoa.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of like the school hippie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even in 8th grade.
Well, I was kind of the rebel that wouldn't say much of anything. I just kind of was a quiet person, but I wanted to be hip.
Quiet, whatever happened.
And
quiet hipster.
And hip you were because you knew how to play guitar at that point, or were you just singing?
No, I was just singing.
Okay.
And then about, I think maybe around 8th grade, my next door neighbor got a guitar for Christmas, and I went over and picked it up, and I went, oh, look at this, and I looked at the chart, and I figured out how to play a couple chords and this and that, and I thought, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I like this. I could sing some songs to this, so I thought, Mom, I want a guitar.
I was going to say, did the neighbor ever get their guitar back?
He got to keep his guitar, but my mom got me a Silvertone from Sears.
From Sears.
Yep.
Right.
So I got a Silvertone guitar from Sears and got started, and then 9th grade played a couple songs at the dinner dance.
Oh, the dinner dance.
I was at that. Yeah.
Then you played at the dance part, didn't you?
I don't remember.
So in 9th grade, were you still at Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Marie, you went to Academy. Mike, you went to Tech, right?
Right.
So you didn't start that until 10th grade?
Right.
Oh, okay. Back then.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. All right. So was it like a variety show or was it a dance or?
It was the dinner.
It was a
like the
ninth
grade
grade
dinner
graduating
dance. Graduating
into
into
10th
10th grade
type
type thing. It was
thing.
just a dinner dance.
Oh, okay. All
But there was also 2 years worth of variety shows.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you did those too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 years we did those.
I only did them too.
Oh, did
I
you?
was too chicken in 7th grade.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I still wasn't quite capable of being on stage without that orchestra behind me when I was in the school orchestra.
I see.
So
Was that your first public appearance or public performance, I should say?
Actually, no. My first public appearance probably would have been on the B. Canfield show back at Lincoln.
And,
in elementary school.
so she was on 35, Channel 35?
Yeah.
And,
And
what was that show? I mean, that you would be on it?
I mean, well, they taught some of us how to play those little
Xylophones?
yes.
Yeah.
And so they took some of us and we went on and we played a little tune on those and yeah, and it was like, that was my first public appearance, but
And the B. Canfield show was just like a little local show.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little local talk show.
Right.
it's a nice show.
Yeah, right.
Local,
Yeah.
All right.
Only
Yeah.
without an orchestra. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I think you might have saw my post. I talked to Bob Berger recently, and he said he was on the Teens and
Talent.
Talent
I
show.
used to watch that every Saturday.
Yeah, another local show that had, and I thought there was another one too back then.
Yeah,
There
I think
was.
there was one on 35 and one on 24.
Gene Carnes.
Gene Carnes.
Gene
Yes.
Carnes, yeah.
Yes. All right. All right. Well, if you're younger than 50 years old, you have
You
no
don't know
idea what
any
we're talking
idea.
about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so Marie is she's singing. She's in 9th grade. Let's stick with the ladies first, Mike.
Oh,
because-
absolutely.
Yeah. Before you guys get together, let's see what happens with Marie, because at some point, I didn't think I'd ever utter these words, but we are going to be talking about Donnie and Marie.
Yeah.
But eventually,
And not that
not
Donnie
that
and
Donnie
Marie.
and Marie, right? So, how do we get there? What happens?
Well, that was, let's see, high school. I went to high school with Don Danovic, and when we graduated, Don had done some of the variety shows in Academy.
Okay.
I had also, and at one point, I think it was the last year, he got a bunch of us together to do a big, I think it was the Arlo Guthrie thing, with everybody singing This Land Is Your Land.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
he was just a student.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so, but it was kind of the ending of the program.
Gotcha. All right.
So then we talked at some point and decided, after school, let's try to do a couple shows. Let's sing someplace
Yeah.
and see if we can do this. Well, then he went into the service. He didn't stay in the service long. He was in for a little while, but whatever.
What
Anyway.
years are we talking here? Like
We're talking
69,
we
70?
graduated in 71, so
Okay, all right.
and so it was probably 72 we got together to start to work together, and played some small venues in town and stuff, and then his mom got us some jobs, and
Where were you? I know you played at the Aristocrat Lounge.
Yes, we did.
A little bit. Where
Yeah.
else were you playing?
Lord Befwick's
Lord
downtown.
Befwick's, sure,
Mhm.
right.
I'm gonna
Station Dinner Theater.
Station Dinner.
Oh, that was
Theater.
there then? Okay.
Well, it wasn't the theater. It was just the station restaurant.
That's right.
And you're
Station
both playing
restaurant.
guitar, you're both singing. What
Exactly.
type of stuff?
A lot of country.
Okay.
And some mellow rock. Just easygoing stuff.
Yeah, at that time, folk
Yeah,
rock.
Exactly.
Probably. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Just real easy listening stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Dinner kind of music, stuff that was entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Were you doing lounges and stuff?
Oh,
like that?
yes.
I mean, those were lounges.
Those were lounges.
I mean, what were the times for those? If it was dinner, you weren't probably doing 10 to 2, right? Or
no, we were more like a 9 to 1 or 8 to 12.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes earlier, just
Okay.
depending, and it was fun. It was like there was some places we got into doing a little bit of show tune type things, where there was an actual stage where you could perform on.
Yeah, right,
I mean,
right.
I'm a ham. I just I would like to just perform as opposed to play.
Gotcha, right.
The only reason I ever picked up the guitar was just to be able to have some music behind my singing, because I really just wanted to sing.
Did you do musicals and stuff and plays ever?
No,
or?
never,
No?
never.
Okay, all
no,
right.
no.
All right.
But I'm just a ham bone.
Okay, got it. All right, all right.
And, right.
And how was Donnie? Was he, the opposite? Was he just there to sing?
He's a guitar player and a singer,
Yeah.
and he wrote songs at the time, and so we did a lot of his songs as well.
All right.
And so we just we got an agent. We did some traveling. We did some Holiday Inn, Ramada Inn circuits, New York State and Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, down in West Virginia.
And you billed yourself as Donnie and Marie.
Yes, we did.
And this was before the real
Before
Donnie and Marie.
Yeah.
All right. So the
That's right.
Osmonds are a thing, but Donnie and Marie aren't together.
That's correct.
All right. So
That's right.
what happens when they become a thing?
The little girl came up to me and said, "Are you the real Donnie and Marie?" I said, "No, I wish I was."
Yeah, right.
But
Well, how long did this go on?
we were together probably 3.5 years, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Traveling around, though.
Probably a couple of years traveling around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was all right. It was tough. I mean, I was married, and so I just made sure that when we were traveling, that if we were on the road for a month, we were back home for at least a month.
Okay.
And we had made arrangements with the station restaurant that when we came back into town, we would play there.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was kind of our comeback too.
Yeah.
Your home base.
Our home
Yeah,
base. Yeah, and that just worked out real well for us.
And were these week-long gigs that you had, like on the road? They'd hire you for a week?
they'd hire us usually for a month at a time.
Oh, a month at a time. Oh, okay. And
And they were anywhere from 5 to 7 days at a time.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this is a full-time job.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She was making more money than her husband, who was working at GE. Easily.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you hear that a lot, I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately,
yeah,
now I don't make any more than I did then.
right, right.
But, it's okay. It's the way it is.
And we should say that you guys play a lot now, and you have for, like you said, 30-some years. I mean, you've continued to play a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not like music was a hobby, which,
No.
I mean, it was something both of you have done for 50 years.
Exactly.
I'm in my 56th year, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So did you ever play in any other bands or?
Yeah. Played in Southwind Band
Oh, okay.
at the Best Western. We were a stable house band there.
And that was country?
That was country.
All right.
Yeah.
I figured. The Best
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah.
Right.
That was with Johnny Cochran on the fiddle and Bill Garfield on the fiddle and keyboard, and Donnie
Davis on guitar. And
on
vocals.
guitar,
Dale Meyer on drums.
Terry Graham on bass, and
Gail Meyer was on drums? Is
Dale
Gail-
Meyer.
Dale.
Oh, Dale.
Dale
Oh,
Meyer,
okay. I know
yeah.
Dale. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you said Gail. I was like, yeah, a female drummer back then.
No,
That's
Dale.
interesting.
Dale.
Yeah. Sorry,
Great
Dale.
drummer.
We know. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And oh yeah,
So that's a good sized band. That's
Oh yeah,
6 people in that
Six
band.
people.
And were you the lead singer or playing guitar
I
and
played
one
guitar
of the singers?
and sang.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We had a great time.
Southwind. So you played
That was the first band I was in, I think. Yeah,
like bigger
because-
band. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was in duos
Sure.
along the way. I was part of after Donnie. I also just did single act.
Oh, you did do solo stuff. Okay.
Solo stuff.
Right.
And then when I wasn't doing solo stuff, I was with Denny Casey for a while, Fred Moses.
Okay. These are all country guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically country, but also, some other easygoing lounge type stuff.
Yeah, right,
Just
right.
like I say, I was kind of more of the lounge singer and
Sure.
entertainer thing.
Ramada
So,
Inn,
yeah.
right? Holiday Inn.
Right, exactly.
I'm trying to think where else in town. Obviously, Best Western. But that was a bit of a circuit,
Right, exactly.
even in town.
Yes, it was.
You
Yeah.
played at Mary Alice Brown's place for a while.
Yep.
Which was
Up
what?
on Peach Street,
The Castaways?
Castaways.
Oh, Castaways. Right, yeah.
Yeah. You
I was there
you switched off and on with her.
when she wasn't playing.
Wow.
Then I was playing, and when she was playing, I was tending bar or waitressing.
Oh, really?
I was doing whatever I had to do to keep going.
Well, that
But,
must
yeah.
have been,
She was great.
she was great.
She
yeah.
was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Well, that's
So interesting. Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah. So eventually, the two of you get together.
We did.
But before that, I should say, Mike, you had a few bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few.
Just a few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a dozen or so at least. Maybe a dozen and a half. You look at the amount of bands I was in, you would get the impression that maybe I was hard to work with. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, the one thing that anybody knows about you is you're a giant Beatles fan. And so, I imagine those early days at Wilson, even in those variety shows or whatever, were you doing Beatles tunes? Or
No.
Couldn't convince them to?
Well, her partner, Donnie,
Yeah.
from Donnie and Marie, that was the first band I was in. It was called the Don D Combo.
Wow.
It was Don Denovic and I and Doug Grace. And
How'd Don get the top billing? He put the band together.
his mom was
His
manager.
mom was the manager.
That's
Yeah.
Whatever mom
Well
said.
done, Mom.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Mom rules. Thelma Lou.
Yeah.
Thelma Lou.
All right.
And anyway, our first gig was at the Wilson Variety Show, 8th grade. And the only song I can remember us playing is How Do You Catch a Girl by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, those are the
Talk to her. Talk to her.
yeah. Well, you could have talked to me, chicken. Yeah.
So this is 1966, I think.
Right around
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah.
And I know that you eventually go on and you play with Rick Wolf in a bunch of bands. Is
Two.
just two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Cell Tape.
I'm glad you said it first.
Yeah,
Cell
because
Tape.
everybody would pronounce it wrong.
Right.
Well, he called up one day and said, well, actually, we had known each other in high school. I think we started in 11th grade, 1970. He says, you want to start a Beatle band? I have a friend that looks like Paul McCartney, and he has I think it was a Sequoia or Secova Beatle bass. It's red, but it's violin.
Yeah.
I said, oh, well, it sounds like fun. Why not? You
Yeah.
know? So it was Rick Wolf and I and Rick Alberico, and our drummer was Warren Leone, Chuck Leone's cousin.
Right.
And we put that together, and after about the first year and a half, Warren went into the service, and we got John Giordano.
Right.
And we did that until about 1974, actually.
And so tell everyone, Cell Tab.
Tabe.
Cell Tabe.
Yeah.
Is Beatles backwards.
Beatles backwards.
Cell Tabe.
Even we would do variety shows at Czech, and the teacher who would introduce us at the assembly, he could never get the name right. And one day he called us C Lab 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
So, and people would look at it and say, well, that's Cell Tab. Yeah, well, maybe it is the way it's spelled, but we call it Cell Tape.
Right.
Well, you should change the spelling. Well, then if we do, it's not going to be Beatles backwards.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah,
This is like the Oneaters Wonders thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and we were Erie's first Beatles tribute band.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and,
Yeah.
it was fun. We had a good time.
Where did you play? You were young.
Yeah, well, yeah. We played parties. We played school dances, school assemblies.
Okay.
We played lunchtime assemblies.
Lunchtime assemblies.
Yeah. That was a thing back then.
Wow.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a picture of us. I think it's on my Facebook page of the four of us playing a lunchtime assembly, and if you see the picture, you'll look at Rick Alberico and you'll say, "Boy, that looks like Paul McCartney."
Oh yeah,
yeah, he was pretty darn close.
huh?
Yeah, but that's what we did. I can't remember anymore because it's been too long.
Sure,
but
right,
I don't think we played any bars.
Tech Follies.
Played the Tech.
Played that.
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
Prescow Happening. Played in 73 at Waterworks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You remember
I
that
got a lot
one?
of pictures of that one.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. That was interesting. There was such a crowd there, and I it wasn't because we were there. It was just a really crowded, like Discover Prescow.
Yeah, it
type
was
thing.
like the precursor to that, right?
Exactly. And our original drummer, Warren, had just gotten out of the service.
Okay.
I mean, just gotten out of the service. And his girlfriend at the time, Crystal, who became his wife, picked him up and brought him down. And his drums were already there, all ready to go.
Got it.
And he got stuck in all the traffic. And he couldn't get to the stage. And it was about time for us to start, so he hopped out of the car and ran the rest of the way
Oh my gosh.
to get to the stage. Yeah.
And it was at Waterworks.
Yeah, Waterworks. Yeah.
All right.
So.
All right. So Molly's in my lap now. Hello. Yes.
Molly wants to be on an interview, too.
Molly, you have anything to say about that? The one thing I noted, I thought it was odd. So you said the band, stuck around for a couple years. So we're around 74. In January and through May of 74, it's weird. I saw advertisements for the band, and they were looking for a bass player. Mm-hmm. And it must have been Rick. I think
Rick posted.
was posting
it. I didn't even know there was an ad in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were about to change the band around and do something different, and we needed a bass player.
Oh.
And we were going to change the name, and we were going to play other stuff besides Beatles.
Okay.
We were going to play the top 40 stuff.
Right.
Of the time, and that morphed into B.B. Wolf.
It did. Okay.
And the bass player that answered the ad was Keith Mazanowski.
All right. Where did BB come from? Is that...
Rick, because Rick was really tall.
Okay.
He passed away a few years ago. Last year it was.
Yeah.
And he was really tall, and he was scary looking, and so he was the big bad wolf.
Got it.
Yeah. And
right.
as a matter of fact, that was every time we would take a break, we would play that, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was our break song.
Was he justifiably scary? I mean, or
No,
was he a nice guy?
Very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very, very talented artist. A lot of our ads had cartoons.
Yeah, right.
And he's the one who drew the cartoons.
Oh, really?
And he always made sure he drew me in a tank top with a pot belly.
Okay.
With my belly button showing it. I know you're in heaven, Rick. Thanks a lot for doing that. Yes, sir.
So Ron Bruce is your drummer?
Back then, no.
No?
The first drummer was Larry Cole.
Okay.
Yeah. He went on to, he was in the band about a year, maybe. And we were, of course, playing bars and stuff then.
Yeah.
And then he left, and then Ron Bruce became the drummer.
So you and Rick are playing guitar?
Yeah.
And do you both sing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And does Keith sing or?
Yeah. He didn't sing a lot, but he would sing some backups, and he would do like the ZZ Top stuff and Thin Lizzy stuff.
So yeah, this is 75 or so. Yeah. So that's what you're doing. You're doing, what we call classic rock now.
Yeah.
You're doing new rock at the time.
Yeah. Thin Lizzy. We would still do some Beatles, not much though.
Yeah.
Stones, Cheap Trick. Just
fun rock and roll.
Yeah, stuff that was guitar oriented.
So that band, goes through a number of lineups over the years, and
I think there was 8 versions.
8 versions.
And I was the original one in the only original one in the last version.
So even in the last version of BB Wolf, there was no Wolf.
No.
All right.
No. And again, it makes it look like maybe I'm hard to work with or
maybe.
something. I don't know.
I was noting that in 1978 you guys played the Summer Festival of the Arts, but you had played there more than once.
We played there in 76, 77, 78, 79.
Okay.
And I think 80.
Mary Sue Sable, who wrote a lot in the paper back then about music, she said that your performance in '78 was a big improvement over last year's. It was nothing fancy, just solid, steady rock and roll.
Thank you, Mary Sue.
Yeah, thanks, Mary Sue. I think that's a compliment.
Pause.
What was that?
A Roomba.
Sorry. I forgot it was on.
Yeah.
Okay, shouldn't do that again.
Oh, so 78. I have that picture, and you have the picture up here with our old buddy Bob Raphael playing bass with you. And
Tom O'Cam on guitar.
Tom O'Camp's on guitar in that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So he goes on to play with Tennessee Back Porch, and
He would. Well, when he left, when the band broke up, he went with
played with Rhythm
Method, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. With Keith.
And then Character. He was in
Yeah,
Character,
right.
too.
Great guitar player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Him
So
and I wrote a couple songs together.
I have a list of people, but do you want to tell me who all?
Oh, go ahead
we
with the
missing?
list. Go ahead with.
So
the
you
list.
got Jim Kleck. We mentioned Ron Bruce.
Yes.
All right. Jim Klecker.
Jim Clucker was a guitar player.
Okay. Nick Lombard.
He was a bass player. Yeah.
All right. Larry Zern.
Yep, he was. Yeah, he was in the final version of B.B. Wolf, and then the final version of that band after we changed its name.
Okay. Mike Zboias. How do you say his last name?
Bioski.
Okay, Mike Zboias.
Bioski.
I ignore the Z.
Yeah, he was he was one of the drummers in Eddie C and the Bees.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay. Well, sorry about the butchering of your last name, Mike. Larry Cole.
Yeah, he was the original drummer in B.B. Wolf.
Oh, okay. So he came back.
No.
No?
No.
He was the original drummer?
Yeah. Then Ron Bruce. And then after Ron Bruce, Mike Bioski.
Okay, all right. That's a lot of guys. Did I miss anybody? If we did, we apologize.
Bob Seaman.
Bob Seaman was in
Yeah,
the
he
band?
played bass too. But,
Oh.
but when we changed the name to Rocker.
So when did that happen? Like after
1980.
1980.
Yeah, that we thought if we changed the name, maybe we'd get some different jobs, play some other places, and we got into the alternative, which
cool.
was after Hullabaloo.
Yeah, it
was to us it was an important gig. It was another step. We finally got into a bigger place and made some more money.
Yeah.
If you call that money from back then, and.
Well, Marie's on the road making tons of money at the time.
That's right.
That's why I married her. You know? But she's still making that same amount. Yeah, right.
Hot dog.
I guess I just don't pay you enough, honey. Well, wait a minute.
need
you
a
take
better
the checks.
manager.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. You pay me, I don't pay you.
That's right.
Yeah, never mind.
Whatever.
Anyway, that was when I quit rock and roll. I quit the band.
So you're in a band called Rocker, and you quit rock and roll.
Yeah. We had played at the Alternative. And it was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday gig.
Wow.
And when you play there, you got to have a lot of PA and a lot of lights if you want to compete with everybody else.
Yeah.
We had minimal PA, minimal lights. I don't even think we had lights. And so we rented lights from Tom Burek. And I don't remember who we rented. We rented the rest of the sound from Piranha Sound.
Okay, I've heard that.
And we had a light man and a sound man. And come Saturday night, after we spent 2 hours and 2.5 hours tearing down, and we figured out what our pay would be after we paid the expenses for the lights, the PA, the sound guy, and a light guy. For 4 nights, we all got $40 each. And
Not $40 a night, $40 total.
Yeah, $40 each. And I went, I'm not doing this anymore. And Journey was coming out then and stuff, and I couldn't sing that high.
Yeah, right.
That's really not, and that and Sticks, I couldn't sing that.
And we're talking, you said 1980.
Yeah. Right.
And what do you do? Do you have your garage at the time?
Well, it was my father's.
Yeah.
It was a family business.
Okay.
I had been working there since 1970. I'd been working there since he opened in 63.
Okay.
But, then when I got older and got married, then I got a job at GE for about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. So you had other job.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Right.
But, I was still, at that point, I was still working full time for my father.
And Marie, you didn't have other jobs during that time, right? I mean.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
I
did
had
you?
other jobs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like you said, you were at the Castaway. You were
Right. Sometimes I was tending bar or
Right.
waitressing, or I worked at Kmart at one time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just odd.
So you still needed to have that to. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Once
Kinda.
you got off the road, because that's where your
yeah,
money was.
right.
Was on the
Yeah.
road.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Because I always wonder about that. I'm like, how much was music paying the bills?
They paid her a whole lot
Not
more than they paid
much
me.
for you.
no, they left Mike out of that
Yeah.
part.
Right. All right. So 1980, you decide I'm done with rock and roll.
Yeah.
What are you making the decision
I
to go
wasn't
to?
going to do anything for about a year.
Okay.
My wife at the time was incredibly happy about that.
All right.
And a guy that I had worked with at GE, Dennis Globosky, got a hold of me and said, "Hey, we got this band we're putting together called the Whiskey River Band.
Oh yeah.
We need a bass player. Do you know how to play bass?" I said, "Well, yeah, I do." He says, "You want to be in a country band?" I said, "Yeah, I do."
You suddenly got an accent when you
Oh,
started.
yeah. Well, that really helps a lot when you're in
Yeah.
a country band. And I had a blast. And all of a sudden, I started making real money.
And so that band, this is Denny James and the Whiskey River Band.
Correct, yeah.
So when I talked to Ricky Carr, he mentioned the famous 45 that you guys put out and everything. Two 45s? Okay.
Yeah, the 145 where he's on the picture.
Yeah.
I'm not in the picture, but I'm the bass player on the record.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought those were like something like a donation to
It
somebody.
was a commemorative record, that
Okay.
one. Ricky was the president of the Tri-State Country Music Association.
Right.
I was the vice president.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that record was to help finance the Country Music Association so we could put on these humongous jamborees at Rainbow Gardens.
Yeah.
I think it cost us $800 at the time to rent Rainbow Gardens on a Sunday afternoon.
Huh.
And WLKK radio at the time was on the AM dial.
1400.
No, they were 1260 at the time.
1260. Okay.
Yeah, late
gotcha.
1260.
Right.
And they would come out and they would broadcast the jamboree for the day.
The whole live.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we became really good friends with everybody at the station.
Yeah.
And they would do that. And so it was to help run the organization. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. I was the vice president. I was in charge of hiring the bands and cleaning up when somebody would throw up on the floor and stuff like that. The vice president job.
Sure.
And
the money would go towards the association.
whatever. And when we put jamborees on, the record went towards Tri-State.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
but we put the jamborees on. That was always supposedly was donated to some charity that needed money.
I remember Ricky told me that he was in the same boat as you. Like he had played in rock bands before, and when he joined whatever his first country band was, there were people like lined up, and he was like, "This is a great deal."
Oh yeah, there was always a crowd.
Yeah,
always a crowd, and played a lot of places, made some actual money.
Places in Erie, like where? I always think of the Best Western. You already mentioned that. I mean,
Exactly.
And
we never played the Best Western. We played a lot of outdoor things. WLKK would get us a lot of jobs. We played Erie Zoo a couple different times.
Yeah.
We played different department store openings.
Really?
Yeah, and they would come and broadcast that too.
Huh.
Yeah, and this is back when radio was cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Especially local radio.
And
cool.
was Denny James? Was he known in country? I apologize. I don't know.
No. He was in Erie. He was at the time.
That's what I mean. In Erie, I mean.
Yeah, he had been an Arizona state trooper, and he came back to Erie. He grew up in Erie. He came back to Erie, and he put the band together. And the first record was called "Back in Erie, PA," and the original title was "Back in Sunny New Mexico." Because it's something that to do with down there.
Gotcha.
But when he came up here, he changed the lyrics around and came out with this song, and I think we were supposed to have a 200-year Erie anniversary or something.
Sure, right, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's too long ago.
That's right.
Anyway, we did the record to commemorate whatever that word is.
Yeah.
And WLKK played Living Daylights out of it.
Huh.
And the band got a lot of jobs for it. We played different bars, country bars. There was one out in West 12th Street. Can't remember the name of that anymore. There was one out in Wattsburg. Pappy's, I think it was. Played there a lot.
Pappy's.
Yeah. I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then I wanted to do my own band.
Okay, all right.
So-
And that became the Haymaker Band? Or?
Yeah, Mike Miller and the Haymaker Band.
So this is the first time we got Mike Miller. You're like, hey, enough of you people taking, all the name.
Well, my best friend.
Forget it, Donnie. You're out.
Yeah, that was just Marie.
Yeah.
Heck with that Donnie thing.
Yeah.
Heck with Haymaker. It's Mike Miller and the Haymaker Band. My friend, we put out a record, and my best friend, Jerry Funk, wrote the song. And he said, if we're going to promote this, you want to promote this as you and the band or just the band? He says, I think you should promote it you. And I took his advice. The band members didn't like it a whole lot.
So you record that record, the 45.
Yeah.
And are those original songs?
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you record that?
At my mom and dad's basement.
Oh.
Bruce Bennett was the engineer.
Okay.
He brought his equipment over. He set up upstairs in my mom's office, and we set up down in the basement. We were between bass players at the time.
All right.
And so I played guitar and bass on it.
Huh.
I sang the leads. Jim Clucker and Jim Cornwell did hand claps and harmonies. And Ron Bruce was on drums, and Donnie Dombrowski played guitar and pedal steel.
Because I asked that, because you obviously went later on to have your own studio, Norwegian Wood, right?
Yeah.
And so this is prior to that, but you obviously have been dabbling with
recording
for years. Always something that you like doing.
Yeah, it's one of my loves.
It is, yeah. Okay. So the band, you record the 45 with the Haymaker Band, but you record it after you've been playing for a while? Or did you record it right away?
It was actually pretty quick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jerry came up with this song called 1 Month Behind. People still request this song.
Huh.
It's a cool song.
Yeah.
And had it been recorded by somebody other than me, it could have been a hit.
Yeah.
Brad Paisley would have done a great
would
job.
have done it.
Yeah.
Brad,
right. It's a Brad Paisley kind of tune. And people still ask us for it as a duo or when we're playing.
Do you play it?
It always gets requested at Arundel. It's like
really
the song that won't die. Okay,
right.
Thank you so much. We'll play it. I feel bad. We pressed 1,000 copies. Keith Rasheko and John Mazza mixed it, mastered it.
They did. Okay.
And then we sent it out to get it pressed, and we made enough money to pay for the recording and the records. And I think I have 11 copies left.
And that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Nobody made any money.
Again,
and poor Jerry, who
you're
wrote
not
the song,
making any money.
Yeah, nobody made it. The people who pressed the records and Keith and John made money on it, but nobody else made it.
How many did you press? 1,000, you said?
1,000, yeah. We sold them all,
And
except for about 11.
Do you ever see those pop up on eBay?
On eBay,
or,
yeah.
do you?
There was one last week for $26.50.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, really? Okay, I'll tell Jerry about it. He'll go, "You're kidding me." I said, "No, I'm not." Jerry doesn't do the internet.
Yeah.
He says, "You're 1 month behind, $26.50." I said, "Yeah," and somebody bought it.
Somebody bought it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, if you're a collector out there and you got one of those, hold on to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. All right. So the Haymaker Band sticks around for 4 years?
Yeah, 82 to 86.
And you played the East Erie Moose, where both of us play now.
Yeah. Well, it was the old Moose.
It was just called the old.
This is down on Eastlake
down
Road.
on Eastlake Road.
Right,
the old
right,
White
right.
Elephant. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Right.
That's where we played.
And you played there a lot.
We were there. We played there like 3 years every Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Except if we had a big gig, he'd let us leave that night and he'd get somebody else in, but we'd be back the following week.
Oh, okay.
And so he didn't mind if we booked parties and stuff. Frank Buterbaugh, he was the manager.
And you eventually played the Best Western?
Yeah, but not like Marie did. We would play off and on.
Oh, okay.
We would play. They would have jamborees at the Best Western. We would play for that.
All right.
But when we did the record, we got a lot of work.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
WLKK promoted the daylights out of it. It was like the top song of the summer that year.
Huh.
And then they played the flip side called When I'm Gone, and same thing. And we ended up opening up for Boxcar Willie and. Yeah.
Where at? The Fieldhouse? Or Warner?
No, Rainbow Gardens.
Oh, Rainbow Gardens.
Yeah.
How was Boxcar Willie?
He was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
He took a nice picture with us and stuff, but he cut our set short. He cut us off by like 3 songs because he was really irritated from all the applause and stuff we were getting. And a lot of people had on Haymaker hats and T-shirts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and, hardly anybody was wearing any Boxcar Willie stuff. So we
again,
got cut short.
If you have those T-shirts, hold on to them.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
Do I have one? No, I don't have one in here.
No.
I have some in the other
Oh,
room.
do you?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
one of them Molly gets to wear when it's chilly.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, did you ever travel with any of these bands like Marie did? No.
I've never been on the road.
Never been on the road.
I've had a chance to be on the road, but I turned it down.
Who was that with?
Sam Hyman.
Oh, okay.
The
So
James
later.
Taylor thing. He's
Yeah,
doing.
right, right, right.
I was his guitar player
Yeah,
at the
for a
time,
long time.
and he said, "I've got this thing coming up. I think it's going to happen. And you want to do it?" I said, "I'd love to." He says, "We have to travel coast to coast, and you have to fly."
Oh, yeah.
And I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm petrified about going on an airplane. So,
And he's doing great doing that now.
oh
and,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm so
we're
proud
all,
of him.
We all are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I've worked for him for 15 years.
Yeah.
It was some of the best times I've had. So.
And that came after,
long ahead, way out of your realm
way
from
out of our, but
Yeah.
so we're still back in '86, so we're nearing the end of our podcast cutoff of '89. So
Right.
the Haymaker Band, what happens after that for you?
It was getting tiring, and nobody was really into learning new songs. And well, you probably know, we do over 2,000 songs.
Right.
I'm big on having a wide variety of stuff. People
Yeah.
ask for something, yeah, I know that, and it was getting old.
Yeah, yeah.
And her guitar player at the time, Donnie Davis, called me often, at least once a month for about a year, and said, "We'd like you to join Southwind," the band that she was in.
Right, I was going
And
to say.
And I kept saying no, because the Haymaker Band was awesome.
Yeah.
Very tight, stellar harmonies, really good band. But it just got old.
Right. It happens.
So he would keep calling, and I would keep saying thank you, but no. And at one point, I finally said yes. I said,
Tell him that it had to be called Mike Miller and the
No.
His mom was like, no.
I do not have an ego. And that was just a suggestion, and I went with it. Yeah. I really am okay to work with. I'm just a big, lovable, fuzzy teddy bear. I don't know why all these people left the band. Anyway, maybe I fired them. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm old now. And so I finally told Donnie, yeah. And I says, when do we rehearse? He says, no, we don't.
Oh.
I said, well, how am I going to learn the songs? He says, you'll do fine. I have no worries. I said, but what if I don't know them? He says, I know you. You'll be fine. I said, okay.
The pressure.
He's got no pressure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
And you had seen them, at least?
Yeah, I'd seen them a couple times.
Okay, all right.
And they were a hot band.
Right.
I mean, really, really good.
And there's
really
a hot
tight.
girl in the band that you're like, hey,
Well,
who is that girl?
I would look at her, but
Yeah.
I was married.
Okay,
and,
right.
I would, look but don't touch.
That's a good point. Right.
Yeah. I was.
Were you still married?
I
in
was.
Southwind?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I was.
All right.
And so it was a Tuesday night because the band would play Tuesday through Saturday, sometimes Tuesday through Sunday, sometimes 7 days a week, like you said. Yeah. And I show up, and she's there setting up, and I'm the second one there, and I'm setting up, and we're just talking with each other.
And you're the new guy in the band. You're literally like,
Yeah.
Marie, you're probably like, who is this new guy? Did you even know he was coming? No.
They didn't even tell her.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was she.
Okay, right.
I had no idea that this was the Marie that I knew in 8th
But
grade.
I knew I was me.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm proud of you for remembering that you're you,
Good
honey.
job.
Yeah.
So 20 years later, you guys hadn't seen each other.
Right.
Well,
Well,
I had
we kind
gone.
of had on and off.
I had
but-
gone to see her a couple times solo when she was playing at the
Oh,
station.
right.
And but she looked like Marie from junior high. She had the long hair. She was
Still did. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was wearing gowns and stuff.
Right.
Here she was looking like Reba McEntire.
Shorter hair, jeans probably, the country band look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And cowboy or cowgirl.
Oh, right.
blouse.
Yeah, right.
Boots,
Vest, boost.
hat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And anyway, I didn't know she was she for at least a month, maybe.
Probably.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're in the band with her?
Yeah, I'm in the band.
Oh,
And
because she has a different last name, and you don't really
different last name.
Yeah.
I just Marie, and and she had red hair. Her hair was dyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So different. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was poofy and.
Did you know who he was?
No, I wasn't putting it together.
No?
You know?
Okay, yeah.
I really wasn't. And it's funny because when I was working with Linda Lee, we had done a benefit out at the barracks one
Okay,
time.
yeah.
And asked his band, was it Tumblin' Dice that you were in at that time?
Could be, but that's after.
To play.
That's that.
Was that
Tumblin'
after?
Dice is
That was like
after.
90s.
After Southwind?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, and I'm thinking,
Must have been Haymaker.
was it Haymaker?
Must have
Maybe.
been.
Anyway, we had that they played, and I'm thinking,
Do I know this guy?
I know these guys.
Yeah.
What?
So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you mentioned Linda Lee, so
Right.
she was in the Thunderbird, or what was it called?
Bill Thunder and the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and so you two did a duo thing for a little while?
Linda
or-
and I did. Yeah.
Later on?
After Southwind.
After Southwind, okay.
Calico Country.
Calico Country.
Calico Country, yes. Okay, all right. I didn't want to leave that one out, because you did that for a little while, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
5
we,
years.
we opened for Marty Haggard. We opened for Barbara Fairchild.
Wow. Are
We had
these,
fun.
is this in the 80s or?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was late 80s.
All right, yeah.
So it was
So you're
That's fun.
still playing a lot. She seems to be getting bigger gigs than you. Although you got Boxcar Willie, but she's, yeah. All right.
Yeah, but I mix audio for one of the Raspberries now. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, so
Back then,
yeah,
yeah.
So that's a pretty cool gig to have.
That's right. That's right. All right. So what's going on then with you then?
Well,
Haymaker, you're joining them.
I joined them. We find out about a month later that we are both of us.
Yes.
And I'm the Mike Miller, and she's the Marie from back then, Marie McIntosh.
Yeah.
And holy smokes, like wow. And we became really, really good friends. And I think the band fell apart about 6 months after I got into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either people leave a band
What is
or
going on?
yeah, I know. I don't know. Don't be in a band with Mike Miller. Something's wrong there. Anyway, the band fell apart after 6 months, and Marie and I did a duo for a while at the old East Erie Moose on Lake Road.
Okay.
And then I think at that point, we did that maybe a year or two. Then you had Brandy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we played maybe some other places.
So that was the beginning of you guys playing as a duo together.
As a duo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then we kind
Okay.
of still were, doing our own thing. I was
Doing
doing
a-
still a solo act as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's when we started doing rest homes.
Oh, wow.
We've been playing rest homes for 36 years.
Yeah,
now.
right, right.
That's our day gig.
Yeah.
And but then we kind of parted ways for a while because she had just had her second daughter, and I joined a band called County Line. And I was in that for about a year.
Sounds country.
Yeah, well, they were all country.
Okay.
For quite a while, and then I hurt my left arm and pinched a nerve, and I couldn't play. And I'm not playing until the feeling comes back.
Yeah.
And so I didn't play for maybe 6-7 months. And then one night she called me and said, "Hey, I need somebody to play bass. You want to come on and play bass?" I said, "Okay." I think I took Linda's place.
Yes.
Because Linda was going to be off for sick leave or something.
Right. Yeah, she was going to be off for a while.
Yeah, and I went and played bass with her. About 3 weeks later, she asked me to join Calico Country.
Oh.
And then we became a trio.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
And I moved back to the guitar, and we've been playing together ever since.
Ever since.
And in the meantime, both of our marriages fell apart, and I don't know, about 4 or 5 months later, we went, "You want to go out like on a date or something?" Yeah, okay. You seem nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to fire me from the band.
I was going to say, that's a big risk.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from that Mike guy.
Yeah.
And we've been going strong for a long time.
Cool. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
little romantical story.
that's great. Yeah, I mean, we don't get that often in
No.
this podcast. That's for sure. Your aside from Marie, your other love obviously is the Beatles.
The Beatles and Raspberries.
Right, in the Raspberries. So we talked about Cell Tabe.
Attaboy, you got it
Yeah,
right.
Cell Tabe. I know it's past our timeline, but talk to me about Abbey Road, because were you a founding member of that band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every Beatle band that's in town, that has been in town, I've been a part of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm a founding member. The original lineup of Abbey Road was me, Rick Cass, Bob Walco, and Bob Seaman.
Okay.
Bob Seaman called me up one day, shortly after we'd bought our house, and said, "We're throwing together a Beatle band, and would you like to be in it?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, that'd be kind of fun again. Haven't done that for a while."
Because you had played with Bob in B.B. Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, Rocker at the time.
A rocker, right, yeah.
I remember because he showed up at the gig in a pink satin jacket, and I went, "Man, that's cool look. Really cool."
Left over from his Calabrese days.
Who knows?
Yeah, right.
But he looked really cool.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure, let's give it a try." And so we would practice in his basement at first, and we knew about 11 songs, and all of a sudden we have a gig for I think it was called We Love Erie Days at the time.
Okay.
We didn't play on the main stage. We played on the stage right on State Street, about 2 blocks up, on 11th or something. I don't know.
And that was the first gig for
That was our
Abbey
first
Road?
gig. We
Jeez.
played our 11 songs. We had more of a crowd than the band that was on the main stage,
Yeah.
and they asked us if we could play over for a while. I don't know if the next act didn't show up or what.
Yeah.
So we only had 11 songs, so we had to play some of those songs over.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was big fun. And
That's crazy.
It sounded pretty. We didn't look like them. We didn't
Right,
have,
right.
But the feeling was there.
Rick's a better drummer than Ringo anyway, so yeah.
Well, yeah. Rick Cass is a pretty darn good
He is
drummer.
a good drummer, yeah.
We had promo picture done. Bob Seaman couldn't be in a promo picture. His job at the time, he couldn't be photographed. He worked for the liquor control
Okay.
board. So Durf
So
Hofstadter
Durf filled in.
Yeah, Durf sat in, and when we play out, Bob would use, oddly enough, Bob Seaman would use the name Big Al Knight.
Which
Al
became...
Knight. Well, he didn't use the big part, he used Al Knight. Kind of weird that I'm Al Knight now.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, but because of the liquor control thing,
Interesting.
he couldn't be associated with it.
Yeah.
And so we had promo picture done, and Durf's in the promo picture. And and all of a sudden, we get a phone call. Bob gets a phone call, and he calls me and says, Headliners is opening up, and they want us to play Thanksgiving weekend.
Headliners on 12th and
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Over
across
in
the street
in
from
the plaza.
Yeah, the old
From the old docks. Across
Docks,
the street.
right, yeah.
I played there a lot in
Yeah.
Baby Wolf.
yeah.
So now we're beating feet because it's like September, and we need to learn 4 hours worth of tunes.
Because you only have 11
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah, right.
Well, we may have had 15 or 16
yeah, still,
at that
you
point.
need about 30 more. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started learning a bunch of stuff, and that was our debut was at Headliners.
Yeah.
So
And how'd that go?
well, the first half hour was a total nightmare. We're all nervous to begin with, and it's one of the bigger places in town.
Yeah.
And Froggy 94 was part sponsor of it, and they're promoting it like the band is the second coming of Christ. And every time the ad would come on the radio, I'd start getting gurgly stomach and say, I'll be back. Oh boy, nervous. We get there, and Bob Walco can't make anything on his side of the stage work. Everything's plugged in, everything's on, everything's plugged in properly. Nothing works. He has no audio. So he's pretty nervous about it. It's about an hour before we have to play. He goes home and grabs more equipment and brings more equipment back and sets it up, turns it all on. No audio again.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think he went back a
He
third
went
time.
third time.
And on the third time, he got stopped by a train on Pittsburgh Avenue.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Brings that equipment in. The guy has tons of guitars.
I guess so, yeah.
He's got almost like Bob Rayfield. He's got his own music store.
Yeah, right.
At least he did back then.
Yeah.
And he sets up, and it still doesn't work. And I think it was the third time. It's been a while. And I think it was me that looked over, and Bob's sweating bullets, and we all are.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm looking over, and I think it was me that noticed that his volume pedal on the floor was up. I said, Bob, step on your volume pedal. And all of a sudden, bingo, there's audio.
Oh, my God.
It's like, oh, no. Sigh of relief.
Yeah, right.
But it didn't end there.
The bad part didn't end there?
Yeah, the bad part didn't end there. So,
Did you go on time?
Yeah. It's, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, they went on time.
Yeah. Well, I think we made, pretty much on time. Froggy 94 is the sponsor. They're there. DJ Dan Kelly is doing this, playing the songs really loud through the house system. I mean, really, really loud. We can't even hear ourselves while we're doing stuff. Why? But I'm the only one in the band who has a tuner.
Okay.
And so I tune up. I hit the piano. Yep, I'm in. Okay, cool. I hand it to Bob Seaman, and it was a Sabine digital tuner, one of the first ones.
Right.
It has a built-in microphone, so you can just play your guitar in front of it. You don't have to be plugged in. He grabbed it. Well, when you unplug it and leave it on, the microphone's on. He must have hit the calibrate button.
Oh, no.
And it calibrated to whatever song was playing.
Yeah.
He goes to tune up. Yep, he's in. But we didn't check with each other.
Yeah, right.
He hands it to Bob Walco, who obviously must have done the same thing.
Yeah, right.
And he tunes up. Yep, I'm in. And none of the three of us checked with each other. And we always would start off with the Sgt. Pepper reprise and then segue right into I Saw Her Standing There. And Rico's doing the boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom, bop. We're Sgt. Pepper. And all of a sudden, I'm singing wrong. And well, no, my guitar's in, but I'm catching the bass note. And I'm catching some of Bob's audio, and we are all off a half step from each other.
Oh, my gosh.
It was like the worst sound in the world. The bar is filled. And were you ever in there?
Sure, yeah.
The bar
yeah.
was
huge.
huge.
It was real long. Yeah,
really huge.
Yeah.
There were a ton of musicians in there, and most of them were sitting at the bar.
Oh, no.
And on the first chord, they all turn around, and they're we're getting the stink eye from everybody. We're going, oh, man.
And you just have to soldier on.
We went through the rest of the song, and we're all cringing. We're going, what a great way to start our first real gig somewhere. And so at the end of the song, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go right into I Saw Her Standing There.
Yeah.
And Rico says, I really think we ought to stop. And we did. And I said to Dan Kelly, the DJ, please don't play anything for 5 minutes. Please give us some silence just for a minute so we can make sure we're in tune.
Right.
Yeah. Had we all had our own tuners and we were all plugged in, it probably wouldn't have happened. But it was just a weird circumstance.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And Rico and I were in the band for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
We both left at the same time back in 2000, and they're still going strong.
Band's still around. Bob Seaman and Bob are both in it still.
Yep.
I think they're 5-piece now, maybe.
Yeah.
Good guys.
Good. Well, you guys never stopped either. And, so we were at the end of our timeline, but we should mention that Mike and Marie, obviously, like you said, you play rest homes, you play bars, you play all over, still quite a bit.
We have more gigs now than we did 5 years ago.
Really? Yeah.
Really. I mean, this in the past week, we got called every single day, and we got like another 20 gigs.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. And then you form a bigger band, Acoustic Ear Candy.
Yeah. Love that band.
With the Parkers. And who's your drummer in Acoustic Ear Candy?
John Caruso. He's the drummer from Tennessee Back Porch.
All right. And
he's been playing with us for about 10 years now.
And you guys play how often, Acoustic Ear
Well,
Candy?
we used to play a lot.
Yeah, right.
But the duo is so booked right now.
Yeah, right.
We have maybe 12.5 gigs this year, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Our main thing is Arundel, where they're monthly.
Right,
and we've got a lot of outdoor things this year. And I don't think we have any other bars, just Arundel, and everything else. We're playing the Casadega floating stage.
Oh, cool.
The Yacht Club and
Erie Yacht Club. And, and some outdoor Whitford Park. And,
Yep, you do the Whitford Park thing each year, right? Well, that's cool. I'll make sure that in the episode notes I include links to your Facebook page. Do you have a website?
Yeah, acousticearcandy.com.
Beautiful.
And there's a Mike and Marie Acoustics
There is.
link on there. So.
All right. I'll include links to that. You both gave me lots of great photos, so we can see Marie in her Donnie and Marie days, and we can see Mike and...
my horn rim glasses, crew cut, and pocket protectors.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah.
The full nerd on. You got it going on.
Yeah.
So
I specialized in that, yeah.
Well, thank you both. This was great, and I appreciate you having me here at your house, and our studio audience was fantastic.
Well, some of them left. I only see one.
We only have one left.
Must have got bored.
Yeah. Well, thanks, folks.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Tim.
it.
Thank you so much for having us on. We're honored. It's very nice of you to.
And this is a
consider us.
great thing that you do.
Oh,
This is
it's-
really,
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love the Durf interview. That was great.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Everybody has played
That's
with
right.
Durf.
Yeah.
You should change the name of the podcast to
the
musicians who
Durfcast?
to change the name of the podcast to musicians who have played with Durf.
Yeah.
Everybody's played
He
with Durf.
should start his own podcast called the Durfcast.
The Durfcast.
It, just,
There we
it
go.
writes
Yeah.
itself. All right. Thanks,
you, Jim.
folks.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey, you know what I like to say at this point? It's hit that like and subscribe button on your podcast app. That really helps me out a lot. One thing I wanted to point out is that this past Tuesday, we had another one of our music nights that has an open mic component to it. And once again, our house band, the Fabulous Leftovers, they were fantastic. They put on a great show every month that we do this. So be sure to set your calendar for our next one on June 28th. It's from 6 to 9. It's totally free, and all the proceeds go to the Second Harvest Food Bank. If you want to know where Mike and Marie are playing these days, or where any local bands are playing, check out Jack Stevenson's Two-Man Happy Hour podcast. That's the number 2, manhappyhour.com. Jack does an incredible job of chronicling everybody who's playing and where. He puts that together in a small podcast, and then he also posts it on his Facebook page. That music night that I mentioned, we have that at the JPT Foundation's Hall, and that's in the plaza that's next to Our Lady of Peace on West 38th Street. Now, it operates out of an old McLean Church location, so you see the McLean Church name on the facade of the plaza, but that will be changing very soon. So probably by the time that we have our next one on June 28th, it will say the JPT Foundation. They've been doing a great job for hosting it for free for us. So we're really appreciative of John Tramontano and all his folks' work towards that. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Remember, you can also support the podcast via Venmo on the website, which is eriemusichistory.com. Just click at the top. There's a support the podcast drop down, and you can go there and support the podcast in any way you want to. We have another great guest next week. So make sure that you listen to the Erie Music History Podcast next Sunday. Thanks again.